International has broken. We have records where they have broken. There was a lot of violations, and the OSHA, the several agencies under the ministry, the state agencies, OSHA, and other utilities have not investigated these matters properly, and it puts the communities who are observers. We don't have the kind of equipment. All we can maybe do is to take a picture, and maybe, or we cannot test that when they're testing for gas, you have pollutants that go into the atmosphere, run off into the forest environment.
Yeah, especially
So
the
good
soil.
question.
Especially
Exactly.
the soil.
Right. So
how do you know the soil is not contaminated?
well, this is it. We are just a farming group. We are a community that don't even have a pipe-borne water supply. And this international company is allowed again to come and abuse the environment in which we live in to extract oil and gas. And the community does not get back the return that is required. So I want to commend you for this program. There's a lot more that we have to talk to in a few more minutes. But I call upon Touchstone International. I hope that the video that they shared to the world and Mr. Peter Bay and the hundreds of millions of dollars of investment, that this video can be shared so they can see. And it's not about stopping any operation. We need Touchstone. We need the state to come together to work to extract the fossil fuel. But what we don't need, we don't need that the pilferage continue in 2020. The returns must be given back to the community, to these communities around the Central Block and the Ottawa Block, so that at least pipe-borne water and a better standard of living and infrastructure, etc., can be brought back to these communities.
And I'm in the States, so a lot of us really don't know. What is the standard of living for these communities?
Well, Mr. Jascribe, good question. I don't want to go there. America, first world. The Caribbean islands, we categorize as a third world. And I don't want to say that I'm third world, because we are speaking here. We are supplying fossil fuels for first world countries. We don't have the resources to extract it. You all come and extract. But at the end of the day, we are happy that at one time Trinidad and Tobago used to supply natural gas to the eastern seaboard. Natural gas is produced around the world. Our neighbors, Guyana, is doing well. We congratulate them. We can work together. But at the end of the day, a community like in St. Mary's and around Central Blocks and Khorasan don't have pipe-borne water in 2020. And this community produces the most amount of fruits and vegetables it's a food basket. It produces for Trinidad and Tobago, and yet still they don't have a simple pipe-borne water supply, and the road infrastructure is poor.
And we're just going to touch again on why having proper road infrastructure is important for the farmers, for those that maybe just joining us. Just a little recap on that.
Okay, so in order, just like these multinational produce to extract fossil fuels, farmers need that when they produce, they need land, so they have to get road access. That when they produce, to reach to their property, to produce food, fruits and vegetables. When these fruits and vegetables are ready for production, you have to reap and ensure that this reach the market. And these roads must be in a passable condition so that the lifespan, it will be marketable at that point in time coming out of the fields. So our infrastructure is very important, not only roads. We need electricity. We need to ensure that the environment itself, the farmers can reach their estates and whatnot, within a proper time without damaging their vehicles, etc. So road infrastructure, access road is critical for farming, and we hope that Touchstone, we don't want Touchstone to build the road for farmers away from the access, but the access that they are using to extract their fossil fuels, those are the said roads that the farmers use. So it is very important that Touchstone and the state agencies come together immediately before further extraction permits are granted.
Okay, so as you see people, abuse going on by this multinational corporation affecting the lives of farmers in Trinidad, you know. Thank you, Uncle Ramish, for speaking on this. And for those of you who are just tuning in, this is Farmers Voices with me, Josh Scribe, and my Uncle Ramish, who's live here in the flesh, talking about the issues. These are very important issues, having adequate roads, as you mentioned, is a vital for, if you're a farmer to get your goods in and out, for production. So that's, very, very, very important to have these roads. And as you can see, these roads are being destroyed by this multinational corporation. When people in the community, they need the road. They need the road. Now these heavy drilling equipment, damaging the road.
Well, I want to end this episode and to set the platform for the next episode, Just Scribe. We are a farming community in Tabland, and these multinational and the state, there are challenges with respect to support farming communities in these areas. But there's a agro processing facility that is available for farmers. So the farmers are asking the question, the Tabland Pineapple Farmers Association, to go, if they cannot supply the basic infrastructure of water, etc. We need support in accessing a agro processing facility that is in the St. Mary's area. And in the next episode, we will go a bit further into that agro processing. The state has invested $80 million into it. We are hoping that Touchstone can come in and support the farmers with a few $1,000s to with simple business plans, etc., so that they can add value to their products at that processing facility. Thank you very much, Mr. Jaskar.
Hey, welcome back to Farmers Voices. I'm your host, Jaskar, with my uncle Ramish, who was touching on some very important stuff regarding what's going on with the farmers in Trinidad, especially in his area. And Uncle Ramish, what area is that again?
Well, we focus on basically on the southeastern end that incorporates the St. Mary's food basket into the Tabland and Pool Valley food baskets. And it's connected to a major operation, oil extraction project that is called the Central and Outer Blocks. And for the next few minutes, I want to reiterate the responsibilities of the state with respect to support for farming. But since so much resources is based on extracting of production of fruits and vegetables, etc., in this southeastern area, the oil companies is coming to further extract, and we have to ensure that the returns are comparable to the extraction. And this has not been so over the decades. And this farming group, the Tabland Pineapple Farmers Association, which I head, continue to lobby, like we have done in the last 2 decades, to ensure that the returns are comparable to 2020 terms. And we want to continue the conversation with respect to infrastructure, roads, with respect to water, and so on. And there's the challenge continue as to the multinationals' responsibility together with that of the state's responsibility. All right, so just to clear it up once and for all, is that these multinationals have arrangements with the state to pay fees and taxes on the fossil fuel extraction. Whether the state takes those resources and fix and spends it on a holistic scale around the country, these rural communities continue to suffer. So our challenge in 2020 will be to ensure that other communities around the country benefit from the resources, but also more so the communities surrounding these drilling wells must be compensated with simple things like water, roads, etc. So, as a farming group that I represent, I would call again on Touchstone International on all their boasts to keep close to their community social responsibility, and for the state to also ensure that they have a community social responsibility too, with respect to the roads and infrastructure like water, proper schooling facilities, etc., etc. So I hope that the Ministry of Energy and the EMA and TNTech, WASA, and all the regional corporations will come together to ensure that the communities surrounding both the central and the Ottawa blocks in 2020 will be compensated with respect to the extraction of fossil fuels by Touchstone and other companies. Jascribe?
Yes, you're making some excellent points there. But have you heard anything from the government in terms of any roadworks projects?
Well, with respect to the roads and infrastructure, the Touchstone Regional Corporation is sourced funds from the state, but our roads in some areas does not receive those sort of funding. But I want to let you know that when the permitting process was instituted for both the Central Block and the Ottawa blocks, that the Touchstone Regional Corporation, our records show that within the last 12 months they weren't consulted, and that is very, very horrifying from the point of view that this divide and rule situation with respect to the breakdown in communication. I think Touchstone has failed miserably, and the state has facilitated that because the information coming to us is that they just want to extract the fossil fuel and increase production. So we want to close off with that story there, and we want to enter the other phase with respect to the Table and Pineapple Farmers Association had asked Touchstone for simple support to do a business plan and for some other support with respect to an agro-processor facility funded by the state. The state invested over $80 million, and we asked Touchstone gently in writing to support us, and we have not heard from Touchstone. If at all a business plan will cost about $5,000 or $10,000 TT dollars, that is pittance compared to the investment. But the return of that investment to the farming community and to the communities on Tableland will be resounding. So we hope that in the next segment, we hope to go in a little more detail with respect to the technical aspect of that agro-processing facility. Thank you very much, Jascribe, for the opportunity, and the Table and Pineapple Farmers would continue to lobby to produce food for Trinidad and Tobago and the world.
Thank you, Uncle Ramish. Thank you for being here. This has been Farmers Voices. This is Jascribe, Uncle Ramish. Thank you very much. Till next time, peace, love, one love, and blessings to all. Hey, this is Jascribe, and we're just gonna have these final moments. Let Uncle Ramish tell you how y'all could get in touch with him. Go ahead, Uncle Ramish.
Yes, well, social media is out there. We have a Facebook page. It's the Friends Who Like Agriculture, etc. You can join that page. Also, we have the Table and Pineapple Farmers Association, and you can send your questions and we can answer and share whatever knowledge that we have accumulated over the years on the farm and beyond the farm. Thank you very much, Jascribe.
Thank you very much. So there you have it, how to get in touch with Uncle Ramish. Ask him anything, support,